What up, B Squad? It is your boy JV, and I am here today, you guys, with a little bit of hot topics, guys. This is the hot topics number 96, and this is going to be the hot topics for the week of April the 29th through May the 5th. Cinco de Mayo. Did you guys celebrate Cinco de Mayo? Let me know what you guys did in the comments section below. You know, I'm really realizing that Cinco de Mayo is really more so for us and nobody else, because that is not Mexican Independence Day. So I'm really starting to think that Cinco de Mayo is just for us to go out and get drunk. If y'all went out and got drunk, I hope y'all had a good one. Have a drink for me, you guys. But so yeah, these are going to be a hot topics. So before we get into these hot topics, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on my channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us just talk about what is hot and what is trending, shall we? All right, you guys, so we didn't do hot topics last week, so I want to start this hot topics up with issuing out the rest in peace that I was going to do last week, but like I said, I didn't do the video, so we're going to start up with the rest in peace, and it happened in threes, right? You know, they always say it's in threes. So last week, it was the first death that I remember seeing was Len Goodman. So if you guys aren't familiar with who Len Goodman is, he was one of the judges on Dancing with the Stars. He was the British. He was the British one. Well, in Bruno Tonioni, what is Bruno? I don't know what Bruno is, but Len Goodman, he was the older one. So if you guys watch from the beginning, man, how long has Dancing with the Stars been on? Because I remember I watched. So I used to watch Dancing with the Stars. Me and my mom, we used to watch Dancing with the Stars religiously when it first started. We watched every season, never missed a season, because you know at one point they got it to at one point in time, it was 2 seasons a year. I can't remember when I stopped watching Dancing with the Stars, but in the beginning it was Len Goodman, Carrie-Ann Inaba, and Bruno Tonioni. So yeah, Len Goodman passed away, so rest in peace to Len Goodman. Also last week, singer and activist Harry Belafonte passed away. I was like, oh wow. And I just didn't even realize, you know, with Len Goodman, Harry Belafonte, and the next one that I'm going to talk about, it's kind of like what I had been talking about previously, like when Regis Philbin had passed away. It's like you realize that they're getting older, but you don't really sink your teeth into it, because you always expect for these people to just always be around, right? Because even with, I'll tell you somebody who I look at now and I'm like, I know she's getting older and I know eventually she's going to not be here with us, Oprah. Like, I'd be like, damn, there's going to come a day where they have to say that legendary talk show icon Oprah Winfrey has passed away now. We ain't saying, I'm just saying, putting it out there. It's going to be a day and it's going to be like, damn. Even like with Barbara Walters, it's like we knew she was in her 90s, but these people, it's just like you expect people to live forever, but no one lives forever, right? And then the last person we got to talk about is the icon, Jerry Springer. He passed away with a battle from cancer. Y'all, Jerry Springer was my childhood. It's crazy. Like, I shouldn't have been watching Jerry Springer back in the day, but my grandmother and I used to watch. I told you guys plenty of times how my grandmother and I, when I used to be at home with her before I started school, we would watch every show that you can think of in the heat of the night. That was her show, In the Heat of the Night, All My Children, General Hospital, One Life to Live, it wasn't Kelly and Regis, it was Regis and Kathy Lee. Then it became Regis and Kelly. We used to watch Wheel of Fortune at night. We used to watch all the game shows. We used to watch Ricky Lake. We used to watch Montel. We used to watch Sally. We We used to watch Divorce Court. We used to watch. Um, it was another show. Any show that came on Fox, we definitely watched it. We definitely watched all the talk shows on Fox. Every last talk show on Fox, we watched them. Talk show, judges, you name it. We used to watch um, the People's Court. Anything that came, like I said, anything that came on Fox and ABC, I guarantee you, my grandmother and I was watching it. Fox, ABC. We used to watch Court TV because at oh Jesus, the O.J. Simpson trial. I will never forget that one. We definitely watched that. Like we watched everything under the sun. She would also watch a little bit of Lifetime too. I was like, that's why I am the way I am today about these shows. Like that's why I am how I am because of my grandma. But Jerry Springer, we used to watch him at 3 o'clock because he used to come on in our market at 3 o'clock. And again, my little single digit ass shouldn't have been watching that stuff. But unfortunately, I had a grandmother who was retired, and my grandmother was like, "Shit, we gonna watch this." Now, once her shows went off, it's so funny. Once my big mama shows went off, then I could have the TV to watch whatever I wanted to watch. Like once her shows went off, I could watch whatever the hell I wanted to watch. Right? I could watch. I could go to watch Nickelodeon. Once my big mama shows went off, that's what become my grandmother, Big Mama. Now, I will say, in the morning times, because she would be in her room, and I would be in the living room. I would sleep so anytime I would spend the night with her, if my mom had to work, I would be in the living room on the couch, or as my big mama called it, the divan. She would call it the divan. So I would sleep on the divan. Oh, the couch. I would sleep on the couch. Yeah, we would sleep. I would sleep on the couch. That's where I preferred. Mind you, that's where I preferred to sleep was the couch. Because she had now, one of the couches that she had, it was a pull-out couch, so you pulled out the bed. But we never pulled that bed out for me. I just literally slept on the couch cushions, right? Till we eventually wore them damn cushions out. Because my aunts had to buy her a new couch. And they told us, y'all ain't gonna be sleeping on them. And after a few years, we did, right? So yeah, in the morning times, if I was over at the house with her, I would actually be watching Nick Jr. first before she comes, because how our day used to start when I was like little before I started school, and if my mom was working a job at night, then I would actually at one point my mom and I lived with her. We lived actually when we moved back to Texas. We lived with her for a little while, and then we got our own place. But then, like I said, actually, there was a point in time where my mom worked during the day, and I would stay with my grandmother, so she would take me over there early in the morning, and I would watch Nick Jr. And my grandma would be in the kitchen cooking for me, cooking breakfast for me, and yeah. So yeah, there would be times where we would have a give and take with the TV, but I knew that I knew that I could watch Nick Jr. from like 7 o'clock up until about 9 o'clock, because at 9 o'clock we was watching Sally. Nope, it wasn't Sally. It was Montel. Then it was Sally. Then it was Ricky Lake. I forget what came on after Ricky Lake. I don't remember. Now there was a show with this woman called Mother Love, and I can't remember what that show was called. But there was a show with a woman called Mother Love. We used to watch. Now this was just one show. We didn't choose to watch it. There was a guy that she was dating. He wanted to watch that damn show with John Edwards, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this, Big Mama. Do I have to watch this? She's like, well, Jerome, he turned. No, I don't want to watch this. Neither here nor there. Rest in peace to Jerry Springer, Lynn Goodman, and Harry Belafonte, you guys. So let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So let's talk about these, not the most recent shooting, because I'm filming this on Sunday, but let's talk about the shooting that happened in Atlanta. And if you guys watch, because I don't know which order I'm gonna upload these videos, but if you guys watched my power video, I think I'm gonna put that up first. If you guys watched my power video, I said we'll talk about the most recent shooting that happened in Texas next week. So I just want to talk about and I don't really want to talk about the Atlanta shooting because it's just, I feel like at this point we're kind of getting desensitized to these things because it's happening more frequently, and I don't know what needs to, I don't at this point I don't even know if there's anything that can be done. I know people talk about the gun laws, right? And then you have the Republicans, they talk about the mental health aspect of it. And it's like, what are, I just don't know what needs to be done because more and more people are losing their lives to things that should not be happening. Now, I know with the Atlanta shooting, that man was on the loose. Now, I know that they eventually caught him, and I think that's the scariest part is the fact that that man was on the loose, and it's scary as hell to know that there was an active shooter, and that active shooter wasn't caught. So that had people on high alert, and it's kind of how I felt yesterday when I turned the news on and I see that I'm not gonna talk about that one, you guys, because I'm kind of getting. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm have to give myself a few days to process this because the one that happened here, it it rattled me, you guys. Like that one really rattled me, and I feel uncomfortable right now. I'm not in a good space right now. I'm really not in a good space because the one, like I said, well, I'm gonna talk about it deeper next week. Why I feel the way I feel about it, because right now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm really even terrified to even leave my. Today. And I need to go to the store because I want to get something so I can cook later tonight. But I'm really afraid to walk out of my door. I'm really afraid because I went somewhere yesterday, and I walked to the Walmart just right across the street from my apartment, and someone blew at me, and I think they thought that they knew me, but it shocked me and it kind of scared the shit out of me because I'm like, I don't know who you are. So, yeah, you guys, I just don't know what else to say, or I don't even know what can be done at this point. I know, again, like I said, the Allen shooting. I'll talk about that this week, and I'll tell you guys my thoughts and opinions about that because I have so many in my head right now. But I just kind of want to right now. I just want to process it. I just really want to process it. So yeah, you guys, let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next thing that I want to talk about, Mocha Fest. Mocha Fest. So I didn't know nothing about Mocha Fest until I got on Twitter the other day, and I saw it was just all down my timeline. People talking about Mocha Fest and posting these videos. Y'all were doing the most out there. Now people are upset about this Freaknik documentary. I'm like, I know Freaknik was horrible, was bad back in the '90s, but shit, Mocha Fest. Did y'all see them videos? One video I saw, it was two women giving a man a blowjob in front of a crowd of people and on camera. I was like, now I'm a bold. Now I ain't got no problem with recording myself while in the act of having sex, right? I am not a prude to that. I have done it many of times, right? I've done it, but I am never gonna do something like that in front of a group of people. Get on, get down on my knees and perform fellatio on. Oh my God, no! I was embarrassed watching that, and then I saw one video where it was another. It was two women. I don't know if it was the same woman that was giving that man head, but it was one woman giving another woman in her vagina, just going to town on the woman's vagina. I was like, Oh my God. Like, no, it was a man. It was a man. No, 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 no. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a man that had a girl on his shoulder. He had a girl on his shoulders with her vagina in his face, and he was eating her. I was like, oh my God. Then you had the women that was giving the man fellatio. And then you did have a woman that was giving fellatio to another woman. I was like, well, damn. And then they said it was in Houston. I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, y'all doing a lot. Oh, Mocha Fest. Y'all really trying to, y'all, like, I know that people are trying to bring Freaknik back, right? Because I saw on Facebook that they're trying to have a Freaknik in my hometown. I was like, say what now? Let it be done. Let Freaknik stay in the pasture where it was put out. But Mocha Fest, I was like, ooh, Jesus. That was a lot. Mocha Fest was a whole lot. Let me know if you guys saw the stuff from Mocha Fest. Let me know if y'all went to Mocha Fest. Let me know if y'all was any of them. If y'all was any of them that was doing that shit on camera. We don't do that. We don't do that. That ain't what we do. But let's pause for you guys and move forward. All right, you guys. So let's talk about the Met Gala. I know a lot of people had an issue with the theme, right? And I know Carl Lagerfeld, is that his name? How you pronounce his name? I know he, people have issues with him because he was a little fat phobic, Wasn't he a gay man though? But he was so many phobias, and it was just like, oh, okay. So I will say that for me, I'm not somebody who's big into fashion or nothing like that. So I don't go up for that stuff, but I do like to see when they show up to the red carpet and dressed up. This year's, I got to be honest with you guys, the Met Gala for me this year, the fashions weren't really giving to me. I didn't really like anybody's outfit. I will say I did kind of like Cardi B's outfit. I liked Tiana Taylor's. I liked what Lil Nas X had on. I like Bad Bunny. But other than that, I didn't really see much. I also know that Serena Williams did announce that she was pregnant with baby number 2 when in preparation for the Met Gala. So congratulations to Serena and her husband on, their, second baby on the way. But yeah, you guys, for me, the fashions just wasn't given. Doja Cat showed up as a cat. Who was it that came to the Met Gala that was basically dressed like they were going for an episode of The Masked Singer? I forget who the hell that was. But yeah, the fashions for me wasn't really given. For me personally, I would love to go to the Met Gala one day. I would love to go to the Met Gala. It looks like it's a fun time. I did see a report that said that Doja Cat might be banned from next year's Met Gala because Anna Wintour has a strict no smoking, no vaping policy, and Doja Cat was vaping. I don't know how true or false that is, but that's what they putting out there in the streets right about now. But yeah, the Met Gala didn't really give much. Like I said, the fashions, I will say, everyone looked nice, right? They all looked nice. It's just that it was just like, this ain't what I was expecting from the Met Gala. But it is what it is. I want you guys to tell me what you thought about the fashions. Who was your best? Who did you not like? Did you like it overall as a whole? How do you feel about the theme of the Met Gala this year? Let me know in the comment section below, and we're gonna pause here and we're gonna move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next thing that we're gonna talk about is Brian McKnight. You guys, this, I will say, social media and reality TV has basically kind of made me look at some of my favorite singers and actors and actresses from the 90s and the 2000s a little differently, right? Because, Nikki Gilbert, I ain't never got to see it for her ever again. Kelly Price, Definitely don't have to see her for her ever again, right? And Brian McKnight, I definitely ain't never got to see her for Brian McKnight. Baby, the next time Back at One come on, cause I listen to Pandora when I go to the gym. Baby, the next time that song comes on, I'ma skip the fuck on past it, right? Cause I ain't ever, ever, ever got to see it for Mr. Brian McKnight. So, Brian McKnight is like a real complete total piece of shit. Like, let's just keep it a buck. The man is a piece of shit. So, Brian McKnight is married to a woman. I don't know what that woman's name is, and I honestly don't care what that woman's name is. But I got a proverbial side eye for that woman because how can you marry a man that now, let me backtrack just a little bit, right? So this woman that he's married to, she has she has children from a different relationship, right? So these children are in fact Brian McKnight's stepchildren, right? So on his social media, Brian McKnight's ass completely erased his children that he had previously from other relationships. He only makes mention of this woman's kids. Then I saw one post where he and his stepdaughter were getting a car, and he thanked his wife for making him a girl dad. I was like, ain't that about a bitch? And you got a whole fucking daughter out there. Now, I know that his kids have put some stuff out there about him. I honestly, God, don't give a fuck about that. That ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Then what really spearheaded this thing was the fact that this man just had a baby with his new wife. That's a little boy that he named Brian McKnight. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with naming that child Brian McKnight. You could have named him Brian McKnight. He would technically be the third, right? Brian McKnight the third. But typically men, when you have a junior, then he names his son. Wait a minute. You do Brian McKnight Jr., Brian McKnight. Is it the second? Would you do the second or would you do the third? I don't know because I'm not a junior. My name is original, so I don't know nothing about that situation. Do you go? Because technically, Brian McKnight is the original. He's the first. Then the son is the second. So if his son were to have another son, then technically that would be the third, right? So yeah, that would be the third. But no, he says that this baby that he has now is his namesake. I'm like, sir, you already have a namesake out there already. Then I did see this interview that he did during the pandemic. I didn't watch all of it because after seeing all of this stuff, I was just like, you are a complete and total piece of shit, Brian McKnight. But then this bastard went one step further, and I don't know where he was. I don't know where I saw this at. I know I saw it on social media, but I don't know who he was doing this interview. It might have been this person that he was doing the interview with. But he was talking about his daughter. The way that he talked about that daughter, I was like, you are a vile, disgusting piece of shit. Like, let's just keep it a buck. You are disgusting. So he was talking about let's see how I want to say this. An assault that his daughter had, right? An assault that she had on her. And I was like, why are you, and he said it was a family member. And I'm thinking to myself, like, sir, why are you putting this out there? This is nobody's business. Keep this to yourself. But no, he put it out there. And I was thinking to myself, so is this supposed to make you look better? Because I was like, nothing that you're saying is making me be like, oh, okay, I get why you don't talk to your daughter. Everything that he was saying, it's her mother. Because he was saying, when I did this, her mama cut off communication. Okay, I get what you're saying, right? But are you trying to be an active father in your daughter's life? Because it doesn't seem like that. It seems like you only care, like some men, it just seems like they only care about financially providing for their children. And that was the vibe I was getting from Brian McKnight, so trash ass, right? So then he also says that his daughter's mother, he felt like she only slept with him basically to get money from him. I was sitting here thinking to myself, okay, there are people who do that, right? There are men and women that will try to entrap people. But then I also had to say, you know what? It takes two to tango. If you felt like that woman was trying to trap you into having a baby, then you should have used a contraceptive. Don't believe the fact that some people might lie and say, oh, I'm on birth control. Don't fall for that old ass lie. You are too fucking old to fall for that bullshit if that's what the case was, right? I'm not saying that's what it was. If that were the case, you are too motherfucking old to fall for that old ass trick. Put on a fucking condom, you old bastard. Oh, you guys, Brian McKnight. I promise you, for Jesus, I ain't never got to see it for that man ever again. I, oh, 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 no. Brian McKnight can go somewhere away from me with this Apollo. Disgusting. Like, I don't know what's worse. I really honestly, you guys don't know what's worse. I don't know if it was worse him bringing up the daughter's the assault, or if it was the fact that he said that he felt like her mama only wanted him for money, or if it's the fact that he said that his wife made him a girl dad for the first time and he has a daughter already, or if it was the fact that he said, he's named that baby Brian McKnight and called him his namesake, or if it's the fact that he's erased his fucking kids from his life completely. I don't know what's worse. You guys tell me what you think. God, I promise you, I promise you, I wish on everything that I had that I listened to music on, I wish I could block Brian McKnight so that I never have to see his face, hear his voice, anything. Jesus be oh no. No. I don't ever have to see it for that man ever again in my life. He is up there with Kelly Price and that damn Nikki Gilbert. He's up there with them. He is up there with them because I ain't ever got to see it for them either. Especially Nikki fucking Gilbert. Oh, jeez, I ain't never got to see it for them. I promise you, I never want to hear that man's music again in my life. I don't. I just don't have any respect. I have zero respect for men and women. It's not just men. I have zero respect for anybody who can do the things that he's doing to his children. I just don't have any respect for that. I was about to say something, but I'm going to keep that to myself because that is very personal and not for you guys to know. But let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so the next story up is the situation with Brad and Judy. So you guys know that Brad and Judy are getting ready to welcome their son into the world, right? So you guys know that Brad and Judy they're on season 3 of Brad Loves Judy. I know at one point somebody asked me would I review that show. I don't really know if I would review that show, you guys, because I'm not the biggest fan. I love Brad as a rapper, but I ain't really the biggest fan of Brad. And I'll tell you guys why. Because I remember watching Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, and the way that her and Judy was acting on that show, especially her with the I don't like people when they do the baby voice thing, because she does that at times, and I can't sit there and watch that. So I don't know if I don't think I could ever review Brad Loves Judy, you guys. So there's an answer to that question, because I remember somebody asked me would I review Brad Loves Judy. The hard answer is no. No, there's nothing against them. I think that they're a beautiful couple. I wish them nothing but the best amount of success in their marriage and as parents, right? So I know that they talked about their journey toward being parents. And I want to say this right here, right now. I don't have an issue if they got a white sperm donor, right? I think the only thing that I had a little problem with was the fact that they did an interview. And I will say, when it comes down, when people do these interviews, you guys, I really want us, when it comes to interviewing people, there's a such thing as called no comment. You don't have to answer every question. We don't need to know everything that's going on in your life. We don't need to know everything. Sometimes you can keep some things to yourself, and this is one of those things they could have kept to themselves, right? Because they're in Atlanta, and I know that there's probably, there might not be a lot of black sperm donors, right? I know that you're probably going to probably run into that. The issue that I kind of had with what they said was the fact that they said that the man looked like, they said that the only black sperm donor that they had, the man looked like Jiminy Cricket. I was like, oh, not Jiminy Cricket. And it kind of had a little bit of, to me, because me and my friend actually had a conversation about this, and she didn't see it the way that I see it, right? And that's fine. And I told her, I'm like, and we said it. I was like, I don't have an issue that they got a white sperm donor. I know that there's probably a lack of black sperm donors out there, right? So I don't have an issue with that. I said, for me, saying Jiminy Cricket, even though I know Jiminy Cricket is just a cricket and he's not real, right? But for me, it just kind of has a little, for me, and you guys don't have to agree with this, but for me, it just felt like a little bit of racial undertone, right? And she was like, why? She said, Gerald, it's just a cricket. I said, but think about it. When others refer to us, they always refer to us as we are roaches. Um, we're anything but human, right? We're roaches. We are monkeys, right? We're anything but human to some people, not all, but some. We're anything but human. Now, I will say for me, I just wish that they had kept it to themselves. I don't, and this is going to kind of tie into what the next story that we're going to wrap up with. Honest to God, I don't really give a damn what they choose. If they want to have a mixed baby, that's fine. I don't give a fuck, right? I couldn't. Now, I know that Judy came out and talked about, the health issues, right? And I was like, that's a great argument. Why didn't y'all just say that in the first place instead of talking about Jiminy fucking Cricket, right? Again, I don't really personally care. It ain't my child, it's their child. They make whatever choices they want to make, right? So that's really it. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below, and we're gonna pause here and move on to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys. So before we go ahead and wrap up the hot topics, I do want to say congratulations to Missy Elliott, who is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You guys, I love that for Missy. I am a huge Missy Elliott fan. I love Missy. Missy is my girl. I've been rocking with Missy since she was, big in the trash. She was a big girl when she was in the trash bags and all that stuff. I'm so happy for Missy. I have saw pictures of Missy recently, and she's gotten really small. I really hope that Missy's health is in. I really hope that she's in really great health, right? Because I want Missy to be around for quite some time, right? What does she have? Crohn's disease, you guys? I think that's what she has, I believe. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that all is well in Missy's life and health, right? The one thing I will say about Missy, I feel like this about Missy and Queen Latifah. When they gonna come out? They ain't got to, but I mean, I think we all kind of know it that they ain't, straight. That ain't no tea, no shade. But I just be wondering, are they ever gonna mention it? Because I mean, we always figured it with Brat too, and I was happy when Brat finally came out. I mean, hell, even Tevin Campbell's came out. But I mean, they ain't got to do nothing that they don't want to do. Congrats to Missy. Love her down, love her down, love her down. But let's pause here and actually wrap up hot topics, you guys. All right, you guys. So the last story that I want to talk about is this situation with Ebony K. Williams and Iyanla Vanzant, right? So Iyanla was on Ebony's show, The Griot, right? Or the show was called The Griot, right? So they were talking, and this has spearheaded a whole entire debate, right? And I'm not here to debate about anything. I'm just here to really just say my 2 cents, and that's where we're gonna leave it, right? So I know Ebony was like, how can they, black women, how can they basically, wear their crown and be in their, I forgot what word she used, but I guess it's like in a relationship, right? So Iyanla asked Ebony, would you date a bus driver? So Ebony paused and she said, I'm talking to you. She still stuck there on pause. She said, if he owns the bus. And so Iyanla says, no, that's the problem. And I know a lot of people have been saying that they feel as if Iyanla was asking Ebony to settle or to date down, right? Now, me personally, I didn't take it that way, but if you guys felt like Iyanla was telling her to date down, I can't tell you how to feel, right? But for me, I didn't think this is what she was saying. I kind of felt as if Iyanla was saying, take a introspective look inside and figure out, because Ebony says she's dated the age spectrum as well as the color spectrum, right? And she's gotten the same results, right? So I didn't have an issue. I didn't have an issue with anything that Ebony said because I don't feel like hell with what she said. I didn't have an issue with it because if she doesn't want to date a bus driver, shit, bitch, you don't have to date a bus driver. That's your prerogative, right? That's your preference if you don't want to date a bus driver. I think for me, the issue that I then had was the rebuttal that she had coming back after the social media backlash. It was the white supremacy, the mediocre stuff, right? And she's fine to say that, but I feel, and I didn't take none of this stuff personally because one, I don't drive a bus, never have. Would I drive a bus? Who knows? If I got down on my luck again, I probably would, right? But that would probably be just for me to get from one point to the next. Like I'm building to move somewhere else, right? So I didn't take that too lightly, right? I'm even okay with her saying that don't accept C's and D's, right? Now I will say for me, I accepted a C, and I'm gonna tell you in what kind of subjects I accepted a C in for myself because I knew that I couldn't get a B, I couldn't get an A because I didn't understand it. Like science, only type of science that I know I can get an A and a B in is biology because I understand biology. I don't know how, but biology is something that I excel at very well. I understand biology. But if you say something about chemistry and physics, bitch, I would be if I get a C plus, I would be happy. I would love to get a B, but I'm also gonna be like, you know what? You don't understand chemistry, you don't understand physics, right? Even with my business degree, economics, finance, and accounting. I don't understand that stuff. I'm not that's why I didn't go to school to be an accountant because I would be a terrible accountant. I have to be honest with you guys because in accounting, what I will say in accounting, I took that class 3 times. No lie, took it 3 times, and the best I got was a C. The first time I dropped it because I knew I was gonna fail with an F. The first time I dropped it. The second time I saw it through, and I got a D, and I was like, fuck, and I really tried my hardest, but the teacher just didn't teach very well, right? The third time I took it, my teacher, my professor was a great professor, and she taught it in a way that I understood it. But when it came to taking the test, I didn't do the best on my test. Actually, yes, I did. Every test I made a 70. Every test I made a 70. Now, when it came to my projects, I could have probably made a B because I was really on the cusp of a B and a C. With my projects, I would do very well when it comes to my group work that we had to do together. When me and my group had to do accounting stuff, we would do very well at that. But individually, it wasn't happening. Like when it comes to the test, it was just a test for me. And even when it comes to math, I'm not the strongest person when it comes to math. Like algebra, I kind of understand. No, geometry, I understand that a little bit. But algebra, I get stumped, right? So I got what she was saying about C's and D's. I don't accept a D. For me, that was, even if I go back to school, I'm not going to accept a D. A D was never acceptable for me. I actually never was acceptable. I prefer to get an A or a B. But if I know it's a subject in which I'm just not that strong in, I'm like, I gotta settle with this C. I gotta settle because I know that it's just not going to be what I want it to be, right? And even when I graduated college, I was a few points away from graduating with honors, right? The reason why I didn't graduate with honors is because the first 2 years of college, I slacked off, and that was on me, nobody else, right? So I'm not I'm not at all upset about Ebony's preference if she doesn't want to date a bus driver. Now, what I will say about Ebony is And we got to be honest with each other. I know people say she's a millionaire, she's this, she's that, right? She is. She's a millionaire. She's a lawyer. She's an attorney. She's this. She's that. She's a talk show. She's a host. She's a slew of things, right? She has so many things behind her name. And I want to say this. I think for Ebony, her dating pool, it's slim, you guys. Like, let's just be real. The men that I know she wants to build, she's all about, generational wealth and about, entrepreneurship, right? Just like she has her, just like she has her standards, and no one's saying that she needs to lower her standards. Just like she has her standards, the same men that she might want have their standards as well, right? And that's unfortunate. And she has a lot of things that some, not all, but some men might not want, right? Some men might not want her because she's a strong, independent black woman. Some might not want her because she is a black woman. Some might not want her because she might make the same amount or more money than them, right? So there are a lot of things that, and then some of the men may be married, right? Some of them might, let's say they wanted a black woman, or some of them, I mean, let's be honest, some men only want women that they feel are beneath them, right? Let's just keep it a buck. There are a lot of men that want a woman that they feel like they can control. They can make their trophy, basically, especially men in higher positions. Some, again, not all, I'm not saying all, but some. So, again, I don't really care how she feels about, did it come off a little classist and elitist? It did. It did come off that way, right? But I don't think that's what she meant. But hey, who am I? Again, I don't have an issue with her dating preference. It ain't got shit to do with me. Like I said, I ain't no bus driver, so that one for me to take, I didn't feel no sting from it. I didn't take, I do pretty well for myself, right? With my main job, I make, between $60,000 and $70,000 a year, right? I won't give you guys the exact amount, but I make between $60,000 and $70,000 a year. With my secondary source of income, I make anywhere between $10,000 to maybe $30,000. Again, I won't tell you that. I won't tell you that price, that bracket, right? But those two sources of income, you see where I'm at, right? 60 to 70, 10 to 30. So I'm not doing bad for myself. But I ain't feel no type of way. And if this was making me a little bit more money, then, oh Jesus, let me stop talking because I don't know who's watching. Let me stop talking. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the hot topics. Sorry, you guys, sorry that these last two hot topics have been later than what I'm typically doing, but it's been a lot with work, you guys. I still ain't forgot that I told you guys I'm gonna do a story time. I'm probably gonna do that story time sometime. I'm gonna try my hardest to do it sometime in June or July, because I know I'm going on vacation for my birthday in July. I feel like I'm gonna do some stuff in June too, right? I don't know. But yeah, I'll get that up to you guys at some point. But that's really all I got this week, you guys. Let me know what you thought about let me know what you guys think about all the topics that we discussed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys later on for Real Housewives of Atlanta and Summer House Martha's Vineyard. See you guys then. Bye, guys.